Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I'm eating banana bread that Brittany made me fresh on Father's Day. It's so yummy. It's so good. Oh, did you guys see what Brittany got me for Father's Day?
Maybe.
There's these like arcades. It's like 1UP Arcade, I think is the name of the company that does them. But they're like 85% the size of full-size arcade machines, but because that technology's old, you don't have to have it as big. So it's just wiring. They can make it out of cheaper materials now. But it's like these big-ass like arcade machines that they sell. You can get like for the one that I have, which is the 40-year Pac-Man edition. They sell for $600 at Walmart. Brittany had a hookup and got it for $110. Brand new.
Damn,
for $110. Nice. I was like, she bought it like a month and a half ago and kept it hidden at that person's house. So
I was going to say, where the fuck did you keep that hidden?
On Saturday while I was at work, she had them sneak over here after she got out of work and had it assembled and everything here, which is awesome. And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. I'm so excited. I was like, this thing is amazing. We're like fighting over playing Pac-Man, which is super cool. But I was like, this is so much fun. I want to get like another one. Like that price is ridiculous. I want to get the X-Men that also has like X-Men vs. Capcom and X-Men vs. Street Fighter in it. Or do we get the Ninja Turtle ones that go down the whole tree of like all the Ninja Turtle games? And so I was like, let's go check this out. And then I found out that the person that she got it from with the hookup, they quit their job since. And I was like, no. Yeah. I was like,
rest in peace.
Right? like the X-Men one or the other, those ones like $500. And I'm like, yeah, it's not worth that.
Yes. No.
Like $100 for a fucking arcade machine? It's amazing. Like if I had two,
it's pretty fucking good.
Really, 2 or 3 of those, that'd be amazing. Because like we had on Father's Day morning, we host a small thing in the morning, and then we do a big thing later on. Anyways, there were 5 of us there: Brittany, myself, her mother, her father, and Rory. And the 5 of us were fighting over who got to play Pac-Man. And it was, I'm like, I want to play more arcade. Yeah. Anyways, so if anybody has any hookup on getting cheap arcade machines, let me know. Back to game. So we're going to be handling this slightly differently than perhaps how you're imagining it. First thing we want to do as we're rolling into this situation is to have everybody go ahead and roll initiative for me. So don't forget to highlight your lack of mini.
I was about to say, I have to figure out which one of these is mine. There we go.
Yeah, I marked mine with a color.
Hey.
Number 2 different tribes marked for the 2 different initiatives for them. And then, oh, did I never make myself an initiative? Oh, I never made myself an initiative thing. So I'm going to have to do this the old-fashioned way, which is a little annoying, but okay. I'll have to add them all to turn individually. I just never made that macro for me.
Look, it's Varix, just in 4 different shades.
4 shades of Varix. They're all going to have a flat 1d20 roll. No modifier. I will one at a time decide if I'm going to add a luck die to my my results. A daddy's die. I've decided I decided not to add it to any of them. I was thinking about doing it to the 15 to guarantee that I at least get ahead of Tethys, but I'm going to skip on that one. And does anybody here have access to Neil's character sheet?
Nope.
I don't think so. No.
All right, I can do Neil. I'll do him. And so let me open up his character sheet. Tristan. All right. Did I highlight as many? Where are you, Tristan? All right, you're a big boy. Does anybody want that luck? I imagine not. Yeah, you probably don't need it. Okay.
Now we're all ahead of the enemies.
We're all good.
All right.
It's nice. It's a block of us, a block of them. So it's nice.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to break that up. I am going to use my luck die because the block is kind of an annoying feature.
It's swingy.
Oh,
well,
I did the wrong one.
shouldn't
I'll have to give that back. There you go. So that makes the 15 and 18. There we go.
I was gonna say, please do give that back.
Yeah. I already blooped it back.
No,
too.
he applies it to Tristan's roll. He'll be at 19.
No. All right, so cool. This that way it breaks it up just a
Every
little bit.
roll Tristan makes, he's like, pull of luck, pull of luck. Every single roll.
All right, there is the initiative tracker right there. So that being said, we're going to be doing this a little bit differently. The way this is going to work is we're going to be doing skill challenges, okay? So more or less, I'm going to describe the scenario. You're going to tell me the type of skill that you want to use to overcome the scenario. You're going to roll your skill against a DC, and based off of how skilled you are with that skill, details in a moment, you're going to add to a pool of success. Once you guys achieve the required number in the pool of success, you are defeated. You are able to defeat the scenario. However, if they succeed in their pool of success, they defeat you in the scenario. What is the scenario? Are you able to get away? Or are you able to, or are they able to actually clamber onto the ship and make it a combat? So we're going to try to dissuade that from happening by introducing this skill challenges, which I know I've used before, but introducing skill challenges to this campaign. All right. And you can roll initiative as normal with normal combat. Cool. You guys are rolling up the river. The ship is traveling along the river, just trying to get your destination. By way of, and Jake, we have rules we have to make in a moment about like signs and whatnot that you need to pick up, but by way of what you're able to discover for your traveling there, you're probably only less than a day's travel away from the bend where you intend to moor the ship, where you intend to have a bit of a wider area, to have a bit more space between the ship and the bank on either side, where it will be relatively safe for you. It's going to be the northernmost area, so for those of you that are going on foot, you have a bit more space. So you'll have a little less traveling distance that you need to go to get to your desired location, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's kind of like where we're trying to get to. You're less than a day's travel from being able to finally be there. When I say less than a day's, I mean like, maybe 14 hours more until you get there. It's like properly less than a day. So your characters are making your way there when you finally, whoever it is that's kind of looking out, maybe it's Gallon with the spyglass, is looking out and sees the situation that's kind of brewing up ahead. What I'm going to allow this, and I've already described how it's going to play out, but for the sake of Gallon, who's able to look ahead and kind of see what's happening, we're going to bring this back to the beginning point of the skill challenge. Gallon's actually able to go ahead and roll me. This is how I'm going to kind of teach it to you. And then you guys are going to be able to have more autonomy afterwards. He's going to go ahead and roll me his perception check.
Okay.
Their primary and secondary skills was your turn in skill challenges. His primary is his...
Oh, I thought that was going to be a 1. I saw the 1 and I was just like, no, please.
So the way it works with the skill challenge is if on your turn you have a primary and a secondary skill that you need to do, if your primary skill beats its DC, you succeeded. If it beats its DC by +5 or greater, you actually effectively aid yourself, giving yourself a +2 in your next roll, which the DC for this was a 16. He beat it by +6, so he has a +2 in his on his sense motive check to kind of realize what's going on.
Okay. Oh.
He succeeds in his sense motive check. Gallon discovers by looking through the spyglass that not only are there the tribes up ahead that are fighting against each other, and he reports it accordingly. After a minute or so of watching them, realizes, oh no, they seem to be turning their attention towards us. The battling is slowing down. This is not good. That being said, Gallon actually
turn.
Well, you don't want to turn. You kind of have to decide: are you going to knuckle down and just try to like turtle up and just try to like have everybody row through here to get by quickly? If you want to try to dissuade them by combat, you make those kind of decisions as we go and continue making skill checks. So he's able to discover this information and let everybody kind of be aware of it. That being said, because your primary skill is the one we're going based off of, is perception. It is a class skill of yours and you have at least 1 rank in it. So you're actually going to go ahead and roll 1d8 plus the modifier required involved, which is wisdom. So 1d8 plus 1 for how many successes total you have.
1d8 plus 1?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
1 second. And then I'm gonna do. You have a 5. And we're
Trying
gonna
to
go.
type past this is interesting. It's just like.
Probably just for the sake of making it look a little bit prettier, probably like this. Yeah, cool. All right. Awesome. So you kind of inform everybody of what's going on the first round of initiative is your turn. You're the one that kind of becomes aware of that. So Viggo, coming to you and becoming aware of the fact that they're able to see what's happening, the fact that they're turning their attentions towards the ship and what's happening here. It now kind of like falls to you. Like, what do you want your character to do to try to make sure that you can get through this area? You're technically the master of the ship, so you can give a command of what you feel as though is the best course of actions based off of the situation that you went through previously, going around that bend, the fact that people are still, one's dead, there's still injuries amongst the other crew members, so on and so forth. What it is that you think the best scenario is to get through the area, get through the situation, like what you think is best. There are many different skills you can choose for this, but just to narrow it down for yourself a little bit, a knowledge of geography would give you an understanding of what you can do for the sake of the flow of the river, the current, so on and so forth. Profession sailor would help you out better with that one. What is it? Trying to read the scenario again, so an additional sense motive to see like maybe what tactics are going to use to try to attack you. So you're having a little bit of pre-planning, et cetera, like that might be able to go ahead. Intimidation to maybe try to get people to get the diplomacy or intimidation, try to get the crew to react a certain way, turtling up, moving faster, whatever it might be. What tactic would you want to take?
What about history, like military history? If anything comes to mind of something that, this situation has been, similar situation has been, talked about before and what they did and if they overcame it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. You can definitely roll that.
Also, for future checks and stuff, I think, does Tristan actually have profession sailor?
No.
No? Oh, okay. I thought he did. My bad. Oh, that's you.
I was requested one thing: have profession sailor.
Yeah, but you didn't have to like,
Oh.
max it out or anything. You just had to have it, right? All right. So you were able to discern history, able to discover like what probably is the best tactic based off of kind of what's happened here with your studies and whatnot that you've done beforehand, looking into this immediately before coming to handle this task, just in game, a week ago or whatever it was. These are things that obviously, thinking about it, you can spend the full round action, can't you? Yeah, you spend the full round action doing this. They get you the 28 total, unless that already is factored in there.
No, it's the 26. I factored it in because it's only one round. I thought I'd have time.
Okay. So try to decide the best scenario to get through this. As far as you understand, though you don't have the information I mentioned beforehand about the sparsity and whatnot, as far as you understand when it comes to military tactics of the Karuk, because there's so many Karuk up here, they're not going to want to give chase. So getting through the scenario is probably the best bet for you. You want to just get by because they're not going to chase you too much, because if they do, they risk getting attacked by other tribes or whatnot. Or, the tribe they were fighting with beforehand might take that opportunity to take their spots, take their supplies, or attack them from behind, whatever it might be. So you think that going fast is the best way. Is this a skill that you have that's a class skill for you?
Yeah.
You have how many ranks? You're only level 3. You don't have a skill focus or anything like that, do you?
Not for that, no.
Okay, cool. So you're going to go ahead and roll me 1d8 plus whatever, what's that, intelligence modifier on this?
Okay.
If you ever roll a skill that has skill focus, just give me a heads up, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know if any of you even have skill focus. 6. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
So with that 6, you guys are at 11 for success rate so far. After that is going to be their turn. So what they're going to try to do is try to pin you guys down, stop you guys from being able to get through, knock down some of the trees that grow along the side of the forest here to block you off. These sorts of tactics are what they're going to try to use to stop you guys in your endeavor here. So in their attempts to try to slow you down, the first group of people, what they're literally going to try to do is rush over and just try to straight up push down a tree. That's, you know how trees along the edge of a river, they tend to have a bit of I don't know how often you guys have been on rivers or streams or whatever, but they tend to have a slants to them as like the erosion eats away at the dirt in front of it, exposes roots, and the things go from standing to leaning. They're going to try to like literally run over and jump on the thing and try to knock it down. This isn't representing of one orc, by the way. This is representing of several Karok, right? So orcs, half-orcs, humans, so on and so forth for each one of these checks. But for me, this is just going to be it's not an actual skill. It has to be a strength modifier is what I'm rolling with. So I don't have some huge boon to this. So I'm actually only going to be rolling with a +4, which is a pretty generous roll considering that it's a strength, but there's many of them doing it. So /R 1d20 +4. So we're trying to knock down a tree to get it into the way. And it's not that they don't knock down the tree, because they actually break this tree. So it's definitely going to be dropping into the river. But at the time this thing's going to probably fall into the river. It's probably not going to be until after, like a storm or two from now, maybe weeks to a month from now, after a more erosion or whatnot's happened, or somebody else tries to work on it further, that this takes place. It is not going to stop your thing. They have 0 successes in their endeavor to try to stop you for group number 1. This brings us to Tristan's turn. What do you guys think Tristan would try to do in this scenario to try to lend aid to the crew?
Does he have profession sailor?
No, Tristan's useless. I mean, no.
He doesn't have profession soldier either, does he?
No. I can give a suggestion.
What does he have?
No,
yeah,
no.
what does he have?
Handle
I don't know his
animal.
sheet, sir.
Literally handle animal. In total, he has 9 skill points. So, and
I feel his pain.
Yeah, most of it's in ride and handle animal. So
I have double his skill points.
he's an 8 intelligence character.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'll do it.
Yeah.
that is a fighter, All right, so that being said, you guys are so what he's going to do to try to get you through there quickly, especially overhearing the commands that his commanding officer is saying. He's not the kind of person that necessarily requires you to directly speak to him. He often acts on intuition alone. We've seen this happen many times beforehand. Hearing that it's time to get through quickly, he's going to go below deck and immediately start trying to row the ship to get it moving quickly, which is for him a profession sailor check to be able to aid in this. It is a class skill for him, but he does not have at least 1 rank in it, so it's an untrained class skill for him. So he's going to roll his profession sailor check. He has a 13 for the result. It's not a particularly difficult task of what he's trying to do because he's just rowing. But do you want to add luck to his result to see if we can guarantee that he provides aid?
Doctor successes if we can.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Lock it.
Okay. One of you guys can go ahead and roll the luck.
Well, May.
All right.
There you go.
With a 15 result, even though it's a class skill, with it being untrained, he's actually going to only roll a D4 plus modifier involved, which for him is wisdom, which is a 0. So he's rolling a flat D4 added to this. I'll go ahead and roll that. /R 1d4.
Nice.
He still provides a degree of aid, though, to the group despite that fact, right? So that's good news. Bringing you guys up to the total successes of a 14. This then brings us down to Tethys' turn. What is Tethys going to do in this scenario of trying to get the ship through the area?
He would probably start. He's like a shift lead on a ship in a sense, right? There's the captain, right? That's not getting his hands and everything, but like Tethys is the dude that's running around, double checking everyone, making sure everything's fine, right? Helping out where he needs, running around the ship. So I would say probably like a professional sailor for that or something.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So while he's down there rowing the boat and whatnot, one of the things you would try to do is make sure that up here is set for like the focusing, like making sure that any amount of wind is going to aid you. So readjusting the sails, getting them to where they are, so on and so forth. And you could also imagine, because this is not meant to be like a 6 second thing. This is a bit more time your character's spending on doing this, right? You might also seeing the oars, like looking off the side of the ship and seeing that the oars aren't rowing in a proper pattern. Maybe even walk over to the grate that looks down below and be like, together, heave. Then you hear ho, heave. You hear ho. You hear heave. You hear ho. And then you're like, all right. Now let's start. And I was gonna make a joke, but I was like, I'm not gonna target that at anybody. I was like, Neil ho,
but yeah, like Shift leading it, right?
So yeah, while up there rapping it out, just kind of like hollering down there, trying to lend some degree of aid, whatever it is. All right, cool. You go ahead and roll me your professional sailor check.
That's a 29.
Oh.
I have skill focus.
Oh,
you have skill focus?
I have professional sailor, yeah. I have skill focus for being parent. So I picked the skill that made sense.
You roll 1d12 plus modifier.
Holy
Plus 1.
shite.
I have a
roll high here.
1d12.
Yeah, you could do a crippling result right now.
Oh no!
Say it, didn't you? You had to.
This is my luck. I roll high and then I roll low. It happens. It happens.
Unfortunately, some of the people are heaving on hoe and hoeing on heave. So
It's a failure.
They're just idiots.
That's like half the crew you deal with while on a ship. Half of them like don't know their lefts and rights. Okay.
Oh boy. Oh, that's
so disappointing.
That's disappointing. All right, now it's the baddies' turns as they're trying to do their tactics as well. So one of the things they're going to try to do is they're going to immediately start trying to swim across the area to start grappling onto the ship. So you can have the first group they're going to be doing the swim check to have members of them swimming over to start getting onto the ship. You can have members of them doing climb checks to start trying to scale up the side of the ship, so on and so forth. You also, and mind you, this doesn't mean just because I succeed, it doesn't mean there's people necessarily on the ship. There will be for story reasons, but not for the sake of necessarily combat, right? And you're also going to have others that are literally taking ropes that they have with grappling hooks and trying to grapple onto the ship and pull backwards to try to slow down the progress that the ship is making. So I'm going to be making a swim skill check, a climb skill check, and then finally a secondary what's it called, strength check. So the first thing I'm going to do is my 1d20. This is going to be for swim. They live alongside the area. Everybody has swim as a class skill, so that's actually a good thing for them, and they're all going to have ranks in it. So with it being a class skill, it's immediately +3. Swim being strength-based and they're Karak, they're going to have at least a +2 or +3. Let's be fair here and say that they have +2s, so that's a 5. And then it's fair to say that they have 2 ranks into it, so that's going to be a +7 for their skill for the swim.
Oh joy.
The same thing will be the case for the
Oh.
I would
Oh,
say
boy.
if they're wearing armor, they would have penalties because of armor check penalties.
They don't really wear armor, and this in the Barrenlands they wear light leathers. They
They
wear
wear
light
like
leathers.
hides or leathers,
Yeah.
which is -1. It matters.
Studded leather is a -1, and even
Oh.
still, they have the technology to have good stuff if need be. So automatic successes and failures. Let's see.
We don't have those.
No. Automatic successes and failures on this ability, on what you're doing right now. When a character makes to earn progress and gets a natural 20, to succeed is regardless of the skill's DC, and has scored a threat, meaning that the success might be a critical success or a crit. To determine, they immediately make a second attempt to confirm if it's critical. Another a confirmation roll, just as if in a combat. If it's a confirmation. So a critical success means the character rolls their progress twice, using all usual bonuses. And when you roll a natural 1, it's an automatic failure, no matter what, and has a chance of being a critical failure, which is if you roll a second time and you can't beat the DC with the second roll, so natty 1 and then a fail, means that you could actually lose progress. So I have to roll again to see if I can double my progress. That's definitely going to do so. So same as before with it being a skill check, it's a D8 plus strength modifier, which we already said is a 2, and I get to roll this twice. So /R 2D8 plus 4 for progress. That's a whopping 11.
Oh, fucking joy.
If
they
I
only
rolled-
have 5.
Right off the bat, which is good news. Okay, so that gets us to here, and now we're going to do my climb check, which I already said is the same modifiers as the swim, right? Because everything else applies the same. It's still a skill. That's at very common numbers. So I'm going to roll this. Ooh, a 13 is not a very good result. I actually don't remember if I have daddy's dice or not, so I'm going to roll one.
B1? Oh no.
I succeed, so I'm actually going to go ahead and roll a 1d8 plus 2. You guys didn't think this was going to be easy, did you? Maybe it is.
If I didn't roll a 1, we would have been like way better. If I rolled like a 6 or anything.
All right.
If they succeed this next one, that's it.
All right, and this is the strength check of throwing grappling hooks across the way,
Okay.
grabbing rope and trying to pull it back, and so on and so forth. I really wish I could use the old skill, use rope. 'Cause that's what it
I was
used
about
to
to
be.
mention it.
Yeah. Oh, 3.5, use rope.
I played 3.5. It's the first D&D game I played.
You may have heard it because you used to watch it live back in the day, but Mike and I have old stories of use rope. But anyways, so this is going to be a strength check, which we already know is +2, but because of the others aiding them, it becomes a +3 for the strength check. I'm gonna go ahead and roll that. It's too low for me to roll daddy's dice and say, chat, I don't have any daddy's dice. Just saying. If you notice, there's a 0 beneath that little guy down there. Look at that 0. Just mentioning it, just suggesting to you, just so you're aware. All right, back to game. That's where it stops. So 16-14. All right, you boys.
That was close.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I won't lie. That was all their turns. Gallon, what does your character start doing on his turn?
My guy is mostly combat focused, as far as skills, except for like tracking, which is that's not helpful here.
Can you shoot them?
Yeah, how would that sort of thing go if I start trying to pick
Not really a
them
skill
off?
check though.
Yeah.
Well, range is technically like a skill.
So you could try to do things like this would be trying to intimidate them off as opposed to the way we did it beforehand. So it's actually literally the intimidation skill, just utilizing violence as part of the intimidation.
I mean, I literally have +0 to that, so there's no point trying to.
I'll double check the ruling on it for 1 second. Let me see.
I have climb. So the skills I have, like I have perception, sense motive, acrobatics, climb, and bluff. Those are my big ones. Like none of that. Nothing.
Climb is
useful
actually
here.
a really good one because more or less you use your climb skill to stop others from being able to climb onto the ship.
Oh, climb only. Well, I mean, it's a 7.
That's
good to roll.
You just saw me roll with a 7, and what happened?
Okay. So I can trying to stop the people from
You
climbing.
can also
climbing
give
up the
other
side.
people aid another, which
So,
gives them a +2.
I would just go for the 7. That's a good roll.
Yeah. So I guess I'll be trying to basically catch people who start climb. Like I'll be basically going all around the edges, looking for people trying to climb up and trying to stop them.
Give me one more moment. Almost done. So things like certainly class skills and whatnot can obviously be used in these sorts of situations. Like let's say, for instance, your task is to sneak. You roll stealth. You can cast invisibility instead and just more or less auto succeed on stealth checks. That sort of a thing. It just gives you like a static successes every round because you're invisible. So there's things like that exist. But attacking. So what you can do, alternatively, the GM could allow the character to roll 1d20 plus the character's HD base attack bonus, cast level or class level, whichever is applies, plus the relevant. So what you can do is if you want to try to hold them back with attacks, you can roll your BAB plus relevant skill, which in this case would be dexterity, and you can try to do it that way.
Okay, so that'd be my ranged attack, which is +7.
Yep,
So
you can
both
do.
would be
You can
+7.
absolutely do that as an option because that makes sense because we've done it before with this.
Okay. I think I'll flavor it the same way then, which is just I'm basically just the second I see one climbing up the side, I'm shooting them down and repeatedly that sort of thing.
No problem.
Okay. Is that would that be better to, because it's the same anti-climb thing as far as for DC, would be better being the climb skill or the ranged attacks?
Whatever you think. I would say the DC in this scenario is the same. The goal is the same. So whatever you think is a better one, I will accept.
Okay, in that case, I will say ranged attacks. That makes more sense because I am shooting them off.
Cool. You shooting them off, huh? Go ahead.
God damn it, Scott.
Hey, they're having a good time. Don't judge.
All right. So with your ranged attack DC 16, are you happy with your 16?
How many lucks?
Like it. We need the successes.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Oh.
Hold up. Somebody gave you guys luck 3 minutes ago, and I did not apply it. I did not apply V-Sword's luck 3 minutes ago. So my apologies. You can roll it now.
Thank you, V-Sword.
Okay,
Yeah.
18. That's better.
All right. So an 18 does succeed. This is going to count because it's an alternative option that has no particular focuses or anything like that in it. Unless you want to expend your sonic focus, it's going to be a D6 with your plus a modifier, or you can use your focus to make it a D8 plus modifier.
I'll expend my sonic focus.
Okay, so you don't have it any longer. I know. But it says D8 plus modifier.
D8. So plus my modifier, which is plus 4 for Dex.
Yes.
So do I do plus 4? Oh,
yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's why it's really good to choose the relevant skill.
Oh,
That's a
huge.
oh my god, that's a really
Fuck
big one.
yes.
Well done, Tesh.
Oh
We
my
needed
god.
that.
Finally
So
succeeding.
Oh my god.
Chose to
Oh.
go combat. And they succeeded at combat, even if it wasn't an actual combat.
All right. So you see Gallon not happy with how things played out last time and his lack of success last time, and
This
feeling
time he'd be
guilty.
using the crystals. Just
Feeling guilty
really
for what
go
had
wrong,
happened.
yeah.
This time he's literally just utilizing, like he said, his crystals. Tesh, if you want to describe how it is you're walking around doing it, you're welcome. It's your turn.
yeah. So he's literally like essentially with his, because he's got really high perception. He's running along the edges, sort of feeling for vibrations, and he feels like, oh, there's someone on this side. Looks over, thunk, pulls the crystal out, yeets it down at the guy, moves on to the other side, and just continues. He's just spending the entire time running around doing that, not having any breaks, not stopping for anything. Just the second he hears anyone climbing up, he's running over and trying to stop them.
Okay, cool. So absolutely, they try to kind of like hitting each one of them, not necessarily trying to kill them like you said, but just get them the
Trying to
fuck out of
injure
here.
them,
Yeah,
stop them.
exactly.
Yeah.
Which makes
And that's
sense.
the thing,
Going for the
he'll be
hands.
Exactly. He'll be, as soon as he's hit one of them and he knows it's like injured, he'll ignore that one now and move on to the next.
Yep.
Sort of thing.
Absolutely. And just to paint the image of what it's like fighting Karak, at one point in time, you literally like drop the thing down into one, and as the crystal like stabs into their hands, they don't know that the crystals dissolve, right? So they see their hand is like pinned in by the crystal, more or less cutting free, like almost completely loose, two of their fingers. And as they're sitting there, they're like, and it's like pinning them in. They're like, holding on to the thing. They'll quickly grab up with their other hands and kind of grab a spot that they can hold on to for just a moment, and like hoist themselves up, and with their teeth bite down on those two fingers and like rip those two fingers free, allowing their hands to be freed off. And then you swear you see them chewing on their own fucking fingers as they hold on for a couple more moments before eventually you throw another thing down, cause them to like drop into the water down below. Like these things are like
No. None of
Bad?
that.
Karuk?
Yeah, bad, Kirk.
it's like when you see Percy eating her own poop, you know? And we know Percy's a girl. So the floof says so. So you just like Tyler. So Viggo, what are you doing on your turn?
Could there be more? Can I bring more out of military history?
Probably not in this scenario.
All right. Well, limits my options.
And this is why I like skill challenges, because it causes you to do more than just eye move and attack. It allows you to kind of like think outside the box.
Yeah.
I in a few in like 2 levels, I'd be able to do much more interesting things.
Okay. What about? All right.
All right.
What do we know that there's not much like in the way of magic out here?
Yeah.
All right.
There's
Can
like
I
a little bit of
use?
magic, but not much. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna
Can
eat
I
mushrooms.
use kind of no craft alchemy, right? To like do not like obviously I can't make something, but do things that kind of like make reactions. Do you know what I mean? Like whether it be a loud pop or like just certain kind of.
He's going to take
Things like
in
that.
organic. What's the word I'm looking for? Like the reactor, the thing that starts a reaction. What the hell's that called in chemistry?
A catalyst.
Activator, a catalyst or activator. Yeah, thank you. Activator if you're doing like a epoxy, but catalyst. So he's gonna grab an organic catalyst, throw it into a like quickly grab up like grabs for the mess kit, like runs over, grabs the pot, throws it down. You know what I mean? On like the edge of the ship, like kind of dodge an attack or whatever. Get on the edge of the ship, pops open the acid and the alchemist fire. And so it's like pouring those into the organic catalyst area just to have like almost you can have imagine like a frothing kind of like, fiery acidic thing. It's kind of like frothing out where it's causing like sparks and whatnot to fly out. You can try for something like this to have some, to them, magical feature like going off, just like scaring the shit out of them. Sure. You can go ahead and do this as one of 2 ways. One, an intimidation check would be kind of on point for trying to keep them at bay, but maybe you're like, nah, I'm way better at trying to make something that scares them just instinctively with craft alchemy.
Yeah, well, I have 0 intimidation. I'm not intimidating. So.
We noticed, Jake.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. It's
Not
mostly
barracks.
the mustache not being able to attach to the beard. It's not that intimidating.
No, I've been trying for many years, all right? I just never got there. One side nearly did.
Remember
but
we
then
talked
the
about
other
that
was
wispy bit before?
It's not wispy, all right? Definitely not wispy. It's like a wire brush, man.
Whatever you say, Math. I mean, Jake.
What skills do you have, Jake? Points in, I mean, or ticks in, especially.
My
Trained
craft alchemy is pretty good, so I'll attempt that for now. But other than that, like nature, history.
Could you
Got something local.
do something to the water to make it harder for them to see and swim in? Behind the boat, at least. With craft alchemy.
Yeah, I mean it's not a bad idea. I don't know. I'll roll and we'll see what we get.
Smudge up the water.
Yeah, honestly, it might be even worth attempting a skill that is not a class skill or whatever, but that just has your highest modifier on it too.
That's true. Yeah.
Because like the default modifier is more important.
Go ahead, sir.
Now, I don't know if I would. Yeah, I'm just confused about the modifiers, but we'll just roll it flat for now.
Whatever your ability mod is, you want
So with your
to build a
29, you
Fuck.
definitely friggin' succeed with having fireworks and shit like that go off. Now, there's a secondary effect on this. You are using the primary idea of using alchemy, and the secondary skill in this is trying to intimidate them by utilizing this against them. Instead of giving yourself the basic aid another, you're tapping into their the instinctive what's that called? Magophilia? Not philia, sorry, phobia. It's like arcanophobia or magophobia.
Yeah.
Whatever it's called.
Magophobia or something like that.
Yeah. So I feel like arcanophobia is more, but anyways, whatever. Sounds less bad. They both sound bad. But either way, so your character is able to kind of tap into that primal fear of theirs, allowing you to now roll your secondary skill of intimidation. But you actually have a +5 on your attempts to intimidate them. So you can go ahead and roll with that +5.
Yeah, no, that's a +2.
You can go right ahead and roll with your +2.
Thanks. It's not gonna work out well.
Oh wait, hold up. Actually, before you do that, I'm just trying to remember something real quick. Again, it's been a hot minute since I did one of these. Up. All right.
Ashton says it's manophobia from Grips.
Manophobia. Thank you so much. That sounds way better. Oh, this is I don't think that's what I was looking for. Give me 1 second. No, that's specifically in chase scenes. So it's not what I thought it was. Okay. That's about moving squares and whatnot. So that doesn't help. Okay. Nope. That's about making obstacles and whatnot, or breaking down obstacles in the way. They try to make an obstacle for you. That's a pretty solid roll.
Tried.
That's a pretty solid roll. Do you want to try to luck it?
What do you guys think?
Yes, I think DC is probably around 16. So
I don't know if we have any luck. I don't think we do.
Well, it's what you can try.
But I'll try.
I knew you didn't have any luck, and so I just wanted to make sure we didn't have you.
you always know.
You would know.
Yeah.
You only
just wanted
hope.
Yeah. So anyways, your alchemy check gave you the big bonus to actually genuinely try to intimidate them, so on and so forth. Unfortunately, it's not something that was able to have too much of a success on it. Had you been able to succeed, you would have gotten a boon to the success with the alchemy. So instead, you just gained 1 success on this instead of the what you were supposed to, which is the much more. So that gives you a 1. All right.
Good though.
It's not. Hey, listen. All progress is progress. Now it's going to be one of their turns. So this is the ones that tried to knock down the tree before, and it didn't work out. They were not able to knock down the tree. What they're then going to do is they're going to try to one last time to knock this tree down. In doing so this way, if I roll extremely well, it's going to actually be able to stop in the front of the ship. It's going to be able to become an obstacle. If I do not do extremely well, it's going to become a minor obstacle as it actually falls down partway through the ship and becomes more or less entangled across the deck and becomes an issue that you have to handle that way, allowing them to scale up it if they want to, or impedes the ship's ability to move forward as something's kind of like holding it from the side, almost like a kickstand on a bicycle, stopping it from falling down. So I have to roll with a +3 again, same as last time, to try to see if I could defeat it this way. Please roll well, Scott.
Roll a 1. That's a failure.
Unfortunately, even if I got a 4 on a luck die, it was a DC 15 is what I was setting for myself for doing this because of how much I damaged it last time. It's not going to be enough to do so. So yeah, this thing is going to fall down sometime in the near future. I'm sure they might be able to scale up it and drop down if they want to, but it does not make a minor obstacle. What is a minor obstacle? A minor obstacle, if you're doing like a chase scene, is something that's going to become its own skill challenge to come over as well. So now you have a secondary skill challenge that you have to, like, it's a skill challenge within a skill challenge. So whereas this primary skill challenge is clearly at least above a 29, where for the total number that you need, that you guys are racing towards, that would make maybe like a DC 5, sorry, a success 5 or success 10 you'd have to overcome before you continue your other progress. All right, back to the game. They attempt and they fail. This is Tristan's turn. Tristan's going to, unless you guys argue otherwise, is going to try the same exact thing as before. Continue rowing. Does it sound correct?
Yeah. I mean, unless
He
you
doesn't
would.
have any much else in.
Is there literally one skill that uses strength?
There's
Literally
a few.
one-
There's climb. There's
Oh.
Climb, swim.
Climb
He
and
could
swim.
use
That's
his
it, climb and
climb. I don't know what his climb is. To stop, like Scott said before, stop the others climbing, like oppose them.
He can do that. He's a PC character, so I'll tell you what his skill is. Because of his armor and stuff that he always wears, it's a -5.
Bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's in heavy armor or
well.
medium armor. So
No, I was, what skills is he good at?
Animal
Animal handling.
handling and ride.
could he get his horse up onto the top to kick people off the?
He's okay at intimidate too, but I mean, honestly, intimidation is not necessarily the best tactic against them.
He could shoot them with a bow like Gollum was doing.
For him, is the best tactic. So, he could in theory do that. He doesn't have any additional features, so that would only be rolling the D6. Did I say?
Yeah, but
Yeah, the ranged attack, whatever that is, like Bab plus Dex,
Yep.
which is ranged.
So for him, is a +4. Okay, we can do that.
it's better than his. He's better than his
Sure.
Taylor check anyway, right? So
Sure. Okay. So when that's not really, when you guys are able to move through the area faster,
It's
your
there isn't
tactic,
like an
the tactic you guys
athletics.
came up with was to move faster. So abandoning the tactic of him trying to assist in moving faster, you switch him out with one of the other crew members who are up aboard. They go down below. So like, I got this, get up there. And he, grabs that person's bow and is like, I hate these things. And, starts making his way up there to try to use his bow because he freaking hates using a bow. But makes his way up there. Again, he's not the best. He can't use a lance up here. It's too big of a weapon to use up above. So
He does
won't
have
be
a
able to use
different
that.
weapon. He other than his lance, he has a.
But you got to pick. But there's not enough. It's not enough melee at the point, so it's gonna have to be the ranged one.
Yeah, okay.
So
that'll
he'll
be
roll with a
later if
+4.
I get on board. Oh,
Unfortunately,
my God.
that's a natural failure. That's an automatic failure, and if he can't beat the DC a second time, he actually impedes progress by coming up above. That's a really good roll. Do you want to?
yes, we don't want to impede progress.
Somebody go ahead and bloop luck for me.
Try luck because we do not want impeded progress. We do not want to go back.
Go for it, Tesh.
Okay.
Neil is a natural failure. All right. So he does not impede progress with that natural
Okay,
one,
thank
which is
fuck.
good news, which is very, very good news. All right. As we're going into Tethys's turn, Tethys, Shinny just gave you Winifred's wisdom. So if
Oh.
you want to blow Shinny a kiss or maybe
Oh,
toss her a
shit.
wink.
Thank you.
I think winks are more cringe than kisses. So
I can't wink though. It's really awkward.
Why don't you, what are you going to do?
Can I just do profession sailor again? Like, or like still commanding the ship, taking like the place of the captain, probably making him quite mad, but it's besides the point.
Yep, you are more than welcome to. This is one thing I'm going to say. It's literally just made it up on the spot. Winifred's wisdom, because it's such a big boon. It's not it's not an inexpensive thing that the chat is able to offer to you guys. You can take it in one of two formats during these skill challenges. Format number one is you can use it to add a +5 to the skill check. Format number two, you can use it to double the modifier when rolling for your whatchamacallit. So in the case of, say, Jake rolling intelligence, I think he has, say, a +4. He would add +8 to a result instead of to his successor's result.
Do you think it's a 1, so it's not worth using on the die?
Use it on the skill.
Use the skills to guarantee
So you just
successes.
confirm it. Yeah, I mean,
Sure.
I have a +13. I have a +18 to the check. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But the good news is if
That
you
is
rolled a
the-
natty 1, it would guarantee you not failing, right? So that's
it
good
was a
news.
low roll, but 24 passes. I'm sure.
24 does pass, so you're going to go ahead and roll your 1d12 +1.
Okay, a 9. That's
Yeah.
That's really freaking good.
that's how you do it.
The crew finally started listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like walked down there, slapped a couple of guys, and came back up.
And now it's the baddie's
What
turn.
happened was the captain was like opposing what you were saying. You just came down, was like, "Shut the fuck up," and then get them to continue.
We actually
The reason
probably
I
go
have
up to Viggo and be like, "Can you give me authority?"
Actually, yeah, probably.
Which would make sense why you want to get off the ship because the captain's trying to. What?
Oh,
Cannon!
actually, that makes
Yes.
sense.
Yes, listen, I butt heads with the leader.
Yeah, you go up to Viggo and you're like, "This idiot is blah blah blah," and Viggo looks at the captain and says, "Shut up! You go now," because he's seen the effectiveness of your character this whole while. So the captain
I'm the best sailor on the ship, probably by far.
better than the captain. So, anyways, he's like, "I sail with charisma." You're like, "It's a wisdom-based skill." He's like, "Yeah,
I have a 13 wisdom, so it's not like I'm good at it either.
maybe better than the captain." He's got a
He's got a 7. It's okay.
rocking those low numbers. So, anyways, so it's now their turns. So, as a reminder, what they did last time: swimming, climbing, and grappling. So, we're gonna do the same exact tactics as last time because there's no reason for me to change my tactic. It works. It was a +7. That is a trash roll. I unfortunately the swimming does nothing. This is my climbing.
Ooh.
He's gonna try
I
and-
don't think anybody gave me any. I don't see. I'll just check, just make sure in case. Yeah, I didn't think so.
Yeah, you should always click it if you wanted to, just to show the failure,
Yeah,
like you make us do.
yeah, I know. Who's consoling me over there? Who's the red shirt? Oh, is that Joey consoling me because it's a red shirt? Right? Yeah, it's Joey consoling me.
That's an old meme.
Yeah.
My God.
Well,
It's a classic meme.
all right, and then it's going to be the grappling.
Scott's bad rolls are back, boys.
Yes.
Let's
All right.
go.
It's Gallen's turn. Gallen, finish this baby off.
Okay. What can I do with acrobatics? Because unfortunately, athletics isn't a skill. Otherwise, I'd use that. But
Acrobatics would allow you to utilize the ropes to try to kind of like more or less toss down like acrobatics. I could see you going around and grabbing up all the ropes that might be slightly hanging off the side of the ship, or in areas where they are kind of like, areas where they might be able to be grabbed lower on the deck, slightly hanging off, so on and so forth, and kind of like tying them up and getting them like thrown up into the actual like what's that called that you climb up, the riggings and whatnot. Get it so that something that they wouldn't be able to get their hands on. So
maybe jumping up and like repairing
Or
stuff.
he could get the rope and jump along the side of the ship, kicking off all the orcs.
ooh, I like that
Jack
one.
Sparrow.
Yeah,
He's
Jack
not a-
Sparrow.
It would be
I actually
perfect if
kinda
he was
like
a
that.
swashbuckler doing that.
Oh. Well, his character is supposed to be like very daring. I like it. All right, do it.
Do it.
Yep. Okay, doing it.
Just
We're
don't roll
only
that one.
agreeing because he's Australian.
You have a
Ooh.
plus 10. Dang.
Yeah, I do for acrobatics. I do.
I think you're good, but you can try it if you
I
want.
don't think we have any. So I think I'm gonna leave an 18 because luck. If we do have a luck, I want to save it for someone who rolls lower.
It's up to you. So you want to go stick with it?
With an 18, yeah.
Okay. So with the acrobatics check, for a scenario like this one, I would say that an 18 is a success. Again, I'm keeping the DC for your first skill challenge is not terrible. You know what I mean? I've been actually keeping the DCs between 14 and 18 for this. You know what I mean? I've been trying to be fair.
Okay, so
I will give you
1d8
harder
plus-
ones in the future. Go ahead.
Oh yes.
Smiley face.
1d8 plus 4.
Yep. And in the future, we can get a little bit more like describing what it is we're doing. Have fun with it.
Ooh. If the goal was 50, we definitely hit 50. If not, we need 2 more for a 60.
It's okay.
Or 40.
V-Sword. We can use that for, honestly, you know what you can use that for? That you can choose which kingdom that goes to when we do the Adirian update, or you can choose Valoran. And if you choose Valoran, that allows them to both get a land and build a farm, making everybody
Or-
happy this round.
Or Warmonger.
Or Warmonger.
I clicked the wrong thing.
All right, so what was it? So that's a 9 result. Okay, with your result of 9, which is a sexy result, one of the things I can tell you, sir. 1 second. Wait, where were we? Hold on. Did I do this wrong? Yeah, I got it.
39 and 14.
39 and 9. Yes, that's gotcha. It's gonna be 40. Am I dumb? 47? No, 48.
48, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So 2 more for 50.
holy-
The target
Jesus.
the target number was 45.
Oh my God, yes.
Hey.
So as you grab onto the rope with the last few of them kind of like hanging by, you literally just kind of run out, grab the rope, and you just kind of swing down, and kind of like lands next to one of them. The last one doesn't drop, and you kind of stop there. And it's kind of like, ugh, and then like you're hanging onto the rope, and it's like, the messy me makes me happy. So you kind of swing it in, and you're doing your whole like swing, and it's like kind of holding on to the thing. It's like as you hit against the thing's side, it will then kind of like turn towards you and like literally kind of grab at you and start climbing on you and going to like bite you in the face, and you're like, nope. And quickly do like the armor spike, like, and it's like,
Yeah, I still got them on. Yeah.
and then after doing that one, just immediately start like climbing back up the ropes to get the hell out of there, pulling the spike in. So as he's like lifted away, like what the being held by spikes, the spikes go back in and he into the water down below. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And allow you guys to go above. Any amount of danger that comes from them moving forward is going to be completely negligible so that you guys can avoid. So that was our first skill challenge. You beat me more or less 4-1. So you guys crushed me on
It
it.
was scary at one point. It was real close.
I intend to use skill challenges more with Pathfinder because it's fun to be able to do this with Pathfinder. So with your campaign, the big thing to point out is as we're getting more and more comfortable with skill challenges and I'm describing the scenarios, you can have a little bit of liberty with how it is you want to describe your characters doing their things. You don't want to sound too over the top, like swing on the ropes along there.
That was a little much, but it was fun.
Well, that's something that your character I could totally see doing because he is that Daredevil-esque, like, what do I have to lose character. If Viggo did that, I'd be like, no. Well, yeah, but I got like a +20 to the... That doesn't make sense for Viggo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
So unless maybe he's drinking one of his potions. So things like that, you want to stay within the what makes sense for the character, but also like what makes sense for the scene. You can have something like describing and have fun with it. Cool.
Trailblazer is going to be fun for these in the future.
What is it? What is summary?
My trail, the Trailblazer.
Oh,
side
yes,
of
yes,
Vegas
yes,
is gonna be
yes.
fun for these in the future.
Yes, because it gives you huge boons.
Yeah, I get to swift action change customizations to a whole bunch of stuff.
Mhm.
So that like I get a lot more of those later levels, so I'm excited.
So one of the big things that you're going to do is shit, what was I just saying? Sorry. So one of the things that to point out, which I did once before, but just to finish this up, sometimes when you're doing these kind of scenes, 6 seconds is the round. Sometimes it's 3 seconds, if that makes sense for what's going on, because it's just skill checks, not like full-blown combats, right? And sometimes it could be a minute at a time. Hell, sometimes it's 10-minute checks, depending on what it is that you guys are handling for your skill challenge. So it's kind of stuff to keep in mind. I can define the rounds at the beginning of a skill challenge. That way you guys know accordingly whether or not you want to say cast a spell going into it. But if you're like, oh, for my rounds, I cast this spell, or if you already have a spell on you, it's just going to tear through your spell, of course. But if your turn is you're casting a spell, that could actually mean I cast spells on my turn. So it's like, even though it's like maybe a minute long and you're only casting 1 or 2 spells, that's still your turn is casting 1 or 2 spells. But in theory, you can cast a handful of spells, like 4 of them or whatever it might be, to give you like, I'm going to spend my turn beefing up the party, whatever it might be, right? So it's very useful that way. All right, that concludes that. Your characters eventually are able to get to the where it is that you're supposed to moor the ship. In this area, the area where you guys choose, there actually happens to be a tribe that's over there, one that, as I said beforehand, you're somewhat friendly with, one that you guys get along well enough with. So as of right now, they don't intend to attack you. I can get into more detail about this when we play next week, because obviously the session's almost over this week. So I can get into more detail about that next week. But important things to point out is obviously with how things played out with the captain there and you kind of taking command from the captain and telling him shut the fuck up and having Cell's character take over, you are more or less convincing him. I more or less, if Cell stays on the boat, he's going to make their lives miserable. Meanwhile, with how dangerous everything has seemed this whole while, what's his name? Tristan doesn't like the idea of leaving these people like, oh, I might. These are the river god. These are my boys. You know, his whole thing.
Viggo he would flat out ask Tristan to stay there because of the fact that we need the boat, and more than anything, Viggo's in Climë for a reason. All right, so told not to lose the boat.
Yep.
So we don't want to lose the boat.
Which makes sense. And then again, with him, you pissing off he's going to be scrubbing the deck for the next forever. You're like, I can make use of this very skilled person, especially if we end up finding ourselves in the wrong portion of the river. This is somebody that can get us to where we need to be. You know what I mean? Like, this is clearly a skilled individual. Go ahead.
I probably approach Viggo. I'm like, hey, Sir BT, you mind if I come along with you? I've made some enemies. It happens quite frequently when you have shitty captains.
Yeah, have you clashed with him before?
I get moved from every ship.
He's that guy. The guy who's too good. So everyone's like, no, you go with him.
What we're doing is very dangerous, but we do need a third.
I've been in the Barren Lands before. Been in and around the Barren Bay. I know how it kind of is.
Can
Could
you
help
speak
out.
the language?
He starts saying words in Kuruk.
It could be very useful.
That was. He just looks at you when you say that in like your.
But he's been speaking that voice the entire time, mind you.
No, well, the thing is,
Yeah,
he
but
probably wouldn't have been talking with people that often. Like he's fairly antisocial when he's in the suit. So yeah, that could be the first time he's heard it.
And even if he was like saying something in combat, it was during like intense stress period. He doesn't say
Yeah.
anything. You know, as you do, you don't question shit that happens around you. it just be like that.
So anyways, you guys are able to kind of like you're gonna dislodge at this point. But the one big thing that we needed to take care of before we end the session was I explicitly said that your character is going to be looking at the signs as you're moving away through the area and trying to like read those signs to find out where it is that you're going to have to, like, the landmarks, my apologies, based off the research that you had done prior, Jake, to see where it is that you need to kind of like head off to, how far it's going to be, trying to narrow that down. So right off the bat, I need you to go ahead, and I believe I told you it was a survival check that you're going to be handling in this scenario. Mm-hmm. Now, you're going to be able to gain aid from one of your friends in this one, but you were the one that did the research, so unfortunately, you're the one that has to be the lead on it. So I believe the other person that was doing primary research was actually Gallon before. So Gallon can give you assistance on this because both of you guys are the ones that kind of focused on it. Moving away from here, you can also have, what's his name? Tethys assist you, but not in this scenario. Go ahead.
Yeah. Can I give him aid, and do I get any bonuses for having the spyglass to help as well?
No, because you guys are you don't necessarily need that for the signs that you're looking for. They're going to be along the river anyways.
Hopefully over 10. Hey.
Yep. So you give him the +2. You didn't, unfortunately, give him the +3, but you gave him the +2.
All right. Then I had a +4 as well from the thing, right?
What was that?
He had a +4 on future
yeah.
checks because of he rolled so well in the library. Remember?
Mm-hmm, yep.
Yeah.
So you stack. These are all
+6
stack.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a huge bonus.
No, I just got to roll well now.
This is why he has to be the primary, because he's the one that rolled it. And Tesh's modifier unmodified is only 1 better than his anyways, so his becomes 3 better, and with Tesh assisting him, 5 better, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, mine's only a 5 as well, so.
Okay, you have a 23. Are you happy with that 23, or do you want to try to hit that next tier?
I'll try and see if we have any left.
Oh, I'm actually checking.
23.
Oh yeah, I would. I think V was trying to give you guys luck earlier, but accidentally hit BP instead. I just need V to tell me if it's going to be affecting Kingmaker or Valoran. Which one that was for? For the BP the BP thing. Actually, let me just check that out real quick. Sorry, because I can't always refund it. Give me 1 second. V, are you still there?
They were talking in chat just a second ago, I assume. Pardon me, I got the yawns now.
Sorry, everybody. Why? Look at this. I have to look through my stuff.
I had no idea it was already this far into the session.
We're yawning for 2 different reasons, Tesh.
Oh, okay, so you wanted to go to Valorant as opposed to
early?
giving them the... Okay, cool. I'll definitely do that. So it goes to Valorant, and then it randomly assists a secondary nation as well. So that means Valorant's definitely just from Beaver right now, and I think Steve did something not too long ago. I think Valorant has enough BP to both claim land and... Oh, thanks, love. To both claim land and... build a farm as well. Sorry, my brain. Anyways, so finishing up, you guys are able to find the location with your 23. You're able to find an area. It's not going to give you a huge boon into the next one, as big of a boon into the next one like 25 would have. This just identifies where it is you believe it the place to be. That being said, you know what? Funny is, sorry. V-Sword is dropping a luck right now. I will be nice enough to allow you to roll that luck now, Jake, because she intended to do that for you earlier, and it was just a typo. So I will retro allow you to add that. so you can get that big boom
I'll,
for the
I'll
25.
add it, but no, my luck has been not well, so I hope I
No, you got
can
this.
do it
Got this, I believe.
justice.
You got a 75% chance.
Why did you say the odds? Why would you say the
my
odds?
God.
I was not gonna say them.
Yeah, you had to say the odds. That was
If you didn't say the odds, it would have worked. Roll another d4, Jake. I just want to see what would happen.
No,
No,
I don't want to see.
you don't want to see.
No.
Oh my god!
All
You
of them
never...
just no.
It's so sad.
What?
No, what?
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Steve's stealing our luck. That's how this is happening.
And
Steve's stealing our
Messi.
luck.
Him and Messi both rolled
I know,
fours.
but Steve always rolls high in chat. That's
Yes,
what it
Viking.
is. That, we figured it out.
There's the it's spent like that. It actually goes 2 BP to the town of your choice, and then it's 1 BP to a random town. So if both Steve and and Vsword spent BP for Valorant, that means technically they get 4 more added to their treasury during the income phase. So technically speaking, they don't have it right now to spend, but during the tax collecting phase, they would get 4 more BP added to them if 2 people did it. So that actually means that they, in theory, could both build take a claim and build a farm and whatnot, but that would put them in the negatives, which requires checks and so on and so forth. Which, but
I'll ask after the game.
cool, awesome. So that we're gonna pick up next week with literally you guys being at the shore, getting off the boat and starting to actually travel into the barren lands. Being able to have fun inside there. I won't lie, the voyage was fun for me. A little bit of important numbers keeping that now we don't have to keep track of moving forward. It's all done into the barren lands.
Yeah.
It's important to know if you guys are ever either running or playing a campaign in the barren lands, that kind of stuff is stuff that you should look into, because running out of water, food, all that stuff, any resources, literally how many, if you're a character that uses arrows, how many arrows does your quiver hold? How many quivers do you have? How many, all those details,
Yeah.
those are important to have on you.
I actually have the exact amount of arrows, and I've set it so each arrow actually has a weight, so I can lower that number as I use them.
I might,
lower the weights.
yeah, I might pick up a bow from the ship with some arrows because that'd be smart. But
If you want to just take the arrows, you could probably, depending on the situation. Oh no, I guess if you're using a bow, it'll be far enough that I'll be using a bow as well. Never mind.
Cool. So that'll be everything for today. So Tesh, anything you want to talk about before I gotta go get ready for work?
Hi, it's me, Tash, of the Tash Tube. You can find me under that name on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Follow me on Twitter to keep up to date on all the things I'm doing, like other D&D games like this. At the moment, it's just this one for now, but that's a for now. And then follow me on Twitch if you want to watch. Actually, now it's going to be consistently Fallout 76 on my Sunday, America's Sad Day. I'm going to try and make that a regular thing because it's gotten to a state where it's a really fun, chill game. So it's a sort of thing that I could just play for fun, and it'd be very easy to get people in to join as well. So I'm going to be doing that every Sunday, and that's the only thing I currently have planned. But I also will be streaming Destiny, Warframe, Monster Hunter, all that stuff.
Did you play the new Dark Alliance yet or no?
No, I haven't.
I
I
don't
know
lie.
very little about it.
It's not like the greatest game in the world, but I had enough fun with it that I kind of want to see how the end game works for it. So I kind of want
That's
to.
good.
I feel like I'm a little glitchy at the moment, but I kind of wanted to. What's what I'm looking for? I kind of want to call out of work today just so I can keep playing it, which I won't do. And if I did, I would do it for prep for tonight instead because I'm super underprepared for tonight. But that's a different story. So you should totally check it out if you can, Tesh.
I'll look into it. I can't really afford it at the moment.
Yeah,
but
it's
I'll
not something
look
you have to do
into it.
immediately. It's not like it's, oh my God, crazy. You have
Yeah.
to jump on it. There's so many fucking
It's
glitches right
on
now.
the list of things to look into. So,
All right. And so,
yeah, I think I'm gonna stream tomorrow night, probably 9 p.m. EST at twitch.tv/Celsius. So it's Celsius with an S at the end. I'll probably do some world building stuff because I like to spend time deciding how deities work for about 4.5 hours and then rewrite everything.
Oh, fun. Is that fun
Yeah.
how that goes?
Yeah, you can ask LD about it sometime.
Oh,
It was a mess.
I mean, LD's a mess. Jake, anything you want to say?
Nothing. Just come check out Warmonger. You know, we thought we were finished with the Kingdom rolls, but we're not.
No, you have a bunch of like in-person stuff you have to do next session before you do more Kingdom rolls.
I don't know. All I can think of is like that you're lying.
You've said that for like the last 3 weeks in a row.
No. Next
Be fair.
session, I don't intend for Kingdom rolls next session because I have stuff I have to go on. I expect it'll be all of next session and half of the following, if not all of the next 2 sessions before you guys do your October Kingdom rolls, and then you disappear for November, going into the courts.
Oh God, don't remind me of the nightmare that is. Listen, I know he's chill for Warmonger because I had Jake here and Jake did it for me.
All good. All right.
Yep.
Bye, everybody. Let me see if there's somebody I can raid, and then I really gotta go get ready for work. Only person I see stream right now is Geef. Let's go to Geef. Going to the Geef man. Put him in a frying pan. Add some acid and alchemist fire with a catalyst and make the orcs go. Sorry. That song was as much of a failure as Jake's attempt to scare orcs.
That was a good idea, and I thought they would have
Yeah.
a primal fear, and I
Intimidating
got a
is such a
15, which was a
weird-
solid roll for me. And he was just like, nah.